Fam, happy Saturday, guys. Yes, Saturday stream. I wanted to jump on today. I'm seeing a bunch of altcoins, specifically 10 altcoins, breaking weekly trends. And for me, these are entries, specifically high time frame, that I do not want to miss. You know, ultimately, we're always looking for short-term gains. We need to pay attention to the best high time frame opportunities. And I'm sticking to a formula, you know, of looking at where is the market emotionally and where are the very key trends that we are breaking. You know, end of the day, when we're coming down sideways, bunch of red emotions, bunch of depressing emotions. But the moment you start popping through the other side, the key is to get entries before the green emotions start to come in. Because when green emotions start to come in, the first push is a little bit not really believable. The second one, people start to believe it. The third one, they really start to believe it. That's why you'll tend to see pumps start slowly and then really start to rampage up. But the key is to catch it before those green emotions come into play. The key is to get entries that we are not sitting and trying to chase pumps later on looking for entries. The next thing as well is to stick to the formula, right? Is to only buy and build positions when these structures are being broken. So right now you're sitting with a market where 50% of altcoins are still not breaking structure, okay, and certain amounts of altcoins are starting to break structure. And therefore, when you see pumps start as a whole or markets resetting as a whole, you'll always see certain altcoins lead the race. Okay, and the important thing is to move where the strength is. When the rest of the altcoins start to get strong, that's when we pay attention to them. But as I see things now, there's only a handful of alts that I am seeing that are actually in buy zones. And these are altcoins that I want to bring to your attention today. So yes, the key is markets have been a little bit depressing, a little bit sad. So let's do more shows. Let's see each other more often. Let's trade and prepare charts even more. And when the market is slowing down and everyone's flaking out of crypto, we are going to continue to work harder. And again, make 2026 the best year of our lives. So do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's get vibes going nice and strong, and let's start the damn show. Let's go!
I try and help everyone in my space, and this is what I get. I try and fight the devils, but inside I'm just like 𝗦𝗏𝗧𝗏. Welcome to Sheldon Show.
Fam, how are we all doing? Your brand channel, hit the subscribe button, get the likes flying through the roof. So I have quite a bit of trades for you guys today, specifically long-term trades, and I do have some short-term trades of some altcoins breaking structure right now. Now again, guys, when it comes to markets moving, sometimes it can take a little bit of time, right? Specifically the start, right? We always say that the start is the hardest and the start is the slowest, and then things start to speed up nice and aggressively after that, right? And again, the key here is to get the entries in the good levels, get the protection zones in, and be patient for the push to the upside. The last thing we want to do after going through everything we've gone through in the last year or so, okay, is to miss the entries, right? Is to have the 100% pump and then kind of sit and say, oh, now I want to get back in, or now I want to take advantage. That is not the key here. The key here is, again, is to remember the past, work on strategies on how we can protect capital better, but ultimately get back into the race. So again, let's jump through a couple of things. Let's start off. I am in a SUI bit-funded long position that I'm building. Okay, the key that I'm seeing is specifically recently, it's been very much around this thing of, you know, short-term kind of trades, right? And what I'm realizing is short-term is actually getting quite difficult, specifically with bit-funded challenges. So what I'm doing now is I'm taking positions, okay, a little bit less size, okay, giving myself a little bit more range and just being patient for the move, right? Because we get in these little traps. But ultimately, if we zoom out, and specifically if I look at, let's say, SUI in the last little while, right? And let's go through here quickly and jump in. I'll show you guys why I'm very interested in SUI right now. Let's jump in over here. I'll show you guys. Here we go. Okay. So just let you guys know, bit-funded trades that I've just started now, SUI. Just started breaking out the 4-hour trend. So previously, I was trading 1 hour, and I've just realized that 1 hour, the market is starting to slowly change. So in December, 1-hour trades were very good, short-term trades, okay? And now what I'm doing is I'm slightly moving to around the 3-day, 4-day trades, Okay, because again, you know, for me, you got to read the room. And the room is the market is starting to give gains a little bit slower now and a little bit more high time frame now. Short time frame can be a little bit difficult because again, when pump starts, we start off a little bit choppy and then we start to move through. And in this chop, you know, I don't want to get myself hit too many times, hit too many stops, get demotivated, right? Where all I had to do was just be patient, right? And a little bit later on, that trend would have broke, right? Specific to the high time frame. Instead of me wasting capital here, catch the early trade, be patient, or catch the bigger break trade. And that is where the gains were to be. So just to let you guys know, specifically short time frame, bid funded, I am moving a little bit slower now. Okay, looking for 4-hour breaks and looking for strength. Which tokens are showing strength? So the trade that I'm in right now is SUI, is what I'm building. I'm building the position outside of this 4-hour trend that we've just started to break. And I do have stop losses around the 1.8 areas as my stops, around 1%, which means I'm not putting massive amounts, but I'm trading around 15% of my current position sizes on Bitfunded. Okay, and again, previously, when I'm short-term trading, I'd enter a trade now and I'll be like, okay, I'm going to a little bit of a loss because the 1-hour mindset process, right, is like, I'm catching this thing now, it's got to go now, right? Where now it's like, hey, you're buying a 4-hour break, 4-hour candles take time to print, right? Put a correct stop loss in, be patient, catch the bigger move. Right? And that is the small shift that I'm making. It's the important thing, guys, that when this market starts to change trend, you've got to basically realize that if the software of the market is starting to shift, you need to update your software and start to move a little bit. Specifically, if what you have been doing has not been working. So in the last 48 hours, specifically on Bitfunded, I went from 100,000, which is the start. I went to 99, went to 101, went to 100, went to 99, went to 100, and 100,500, now back down to 99. I'm like, I'm wasting my, like, I'm not reading the room here. Okay, it's just I'm going like this, right? So slow it down, look at where the opportunities are. And I wake up today, opportunities on the 4-hour charts, a little bit higher time frame. Be damn patient, stop wasting your energy, and start playing a lot more smarter. So my Bitfunder trade right now is SUI, only trade that I'm in. Stop loss is around the 1.8 to 1.805 areas, which means it's around 1% or so. And I am in 18%. Show you guys, I still have available $80,000. So around 18 to 20% in the positions, and I'm trading strength. Amazing. Again, now let's go through a couple of things why high time for me is quite important. Okay, and specifically focusing on high time frame. I told you guys about the breakouts. We did break a trend. I do believe that this is the disbelief pump. Okay, and again, what are we looking for? We're looking for Bitcoin to get back to the 100, 105, $106,000 zone. We're not thinking too far of new all-time highs. We're looking at what opportunities over the next couple of weeks in those areas. We do have a bit of a bearish Bitcoin dominance that has lost recent trends, and I just want to show you guys the trends that we have lost. Okay, look at that. Okay, we have lost it. We are retesting. For me, the opportunity and the money to be made is in altcoins and blue chip altcoins specifically, but we are retesting this trend, which means for me at any point, we should actually see a nice push to the downside. So if I'm looking at Bitcoin go to $100,000, okay, which is a nice 10%, 12% move from here, I'm looking around a 20, 30% move within specific altcoins. Okay, and that's the important thing. Again, not thinking too far. When we get there, we'll see what the next opportunity. Maybe we break 105, we go to 120, right? We will see as it goes. Right now, entries, buying on supports, paying attention to strength altcoins. When it comes to a little bit higher, right, we do have a big move on Bitcoin coming, you know, or a big decision-making point, because are we forming some sort of head and shoulders, right? Are we looking at possibly something like this and something like this, right? This is something for us to decide in the future. Right now, the opportunity for me is there. And if we see the market's bearish here, we short the damn thing down, right? I told you guys something that's very important this year, right? Is now all of these previous I brought Matt on by mistake. All of these previous theories of 4-year cycles, all these things out of the window. Now we're in the wild, wild west. We're in the ocean. No one knows where we are. We are here with our survival tools. But the key thing is now no longer relying on alt seasons and these things to make us rich, right? Where's the money moving? Where are we going to make money? Trade it as it is and become rich. That is where my mindset's at. That is where my brain's at. And that is the way I'm going to be treating this entire year. I feel it's probably the best strategy that we can ever do, right? Is to just move where the money is going and no more just these presumptions. Again, there will be alt seasons again. There will be bull markets again. Right, but we don't want to put the pressure on that it's this specific month, this specific year. Been there, done that, tick that box multiple times. Cheers, right? It's done. It's time to grow, right? So time to grow from the past, right? Which is important. So again, I'm just looking for the opportunities in these areas over here. So let's go through where I'm seeing the opportunities. The first one is SUI. Right? First one is SUI. So I want to go through here. SUI for me is one of the tokens that are looking the strongest in the market, specifically right now, because when I look at markets recovering, it gives me an opportunity to kind of see what is the strongest, right? And that's kind of where I want to move. When you look at the whole of the altcoin market, it's oversold, right? Weekly stocks at the bottom. This is why I'm saying I want to slow down to make money now, instead of just putting all of this pressure, okay, on the short time frame. Let me just get the stock RSI up here quickly. Okay, I want to catch the bigger move. So again, what I look for is I look for an oversold token and I look for it exiting the oversold areas. Okay, here, oversold. Exiting, moves, right? And that's the important thing. Here, oversold, when it exits, we start to move. Right, so I'm looking for this specific key here of altcoins that are starting to pop their head out of the oversold areas, okay, because it's clear. We've had a lot of red come through. The bulls will reply. The next thing that I'm looking at is a break of structure, right? So basically look here and see where is this altcoin now and what major trends are we breaking, okay? And that is that one important trend that I spoke about previously, where we have this trend. Anything to do on the left-hand side is still red emotions. Anything on the right-hand side, we're starting to go into green emotions. So we had a breakout. The first thing I wanted to see on SUI was the higher high. We have got that. Now what I'm looking for is the higher low, and I was looking for a retest of support. Previous level we broke out there, and that is exactly where we are retesting. Now again, the key is not to predict that is where we bounce. The key is let the chart or let the token show you that the strength is incoming. So when we are coming down to retest here, I pop in one important trend, okay? And that is the trend we are breaking and hitting out right now as it stands, okay? First token for me right now is SUI. One token that's showing strength and a push. Now let's speak about where we are seeing this token looking to possibly go on the next push. Is the mid-range of where we dropped. Okay, all of these tokens, for me, we are going to, at some point, have a mid-range pump. Okay, then we will see if we are bearish for the high time frame or not, right? So from here, mid-range pump, again, there are many reasons why I'm saying this. Okay, the first one is, let's put up a big trend line. The trend line is marking up to those areas. Let's put up Fibonacci's, and we go from here to bottom to top. The 618 to 786 is sitting in these areas. We look at resistances. There's resistance here, resistance here. They are literally 4 to 5 to 6. There's probably moving averages sitting in these areas too, right? Many areas are telling me that this is the zone anywhere between 2.6 to the areas of $3 is where at some point we are looking ready to push to. So those are my targets. And if I look to risk to reward, right, and I look at, okay, I want to enter this trade now. Protection zones are definitely under these previous daily lows we made 2 days ago, because remember, when we are breaking out of a trend, okay, it means we should not come back in. Oh, we're starting to wake up here. Yes, go! Come on! No, I need a nice strong victory here. This will be very good. Okay, there's the breakout. So again, my protection zones on leverage positions will be at that 1.8, right? On spot positions will be 1.7 to the areas of 1.69, right? Take profit zones, a push to 2.5 to 2.6, right? That is my risk to reward. Good trade. I'm in one of the stronger tokens in the market right now. Is this thing moving? Yes, yes, yes. Go. Break through this resistance and go. Yeah, so that is the first one. Let me know anyone that is holding SUI. We'll think about it. Okay, amazing. Someone says pump. Good. Nice prediction of my next token. Right? Is pump fund. This is one of the rest. Let me just see here quickly. I set a budget. Nice prediction. I know you were saying that coin must pump, but nice prediction. Nice prediction. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's jump in. Okay, pump fund as my next big token that I'm looking for a strong push to the upside. Now, again, pump fund, one of the new narratives that come through. The key is to never buy the narratives straight away as they come through. They still first have to go through the validation. What's the validation? Put it under sell pressure. Right? After sell pressure, then it starts to rise and break trend. That's the key of when we're looking to get in. Right? I do like the idea of newer tokens in the market, new tokens that are innovating, new tokens that are bringing new concepts to the market. It's bringing a whole new stream version to the market and could possibly be the YouTube of crypto, right? A new way for content creators to make money. But again, the concept is cool, right? But ultimately, is it showing strength on the chart? Is it breaking structure? And yes, it is. This is a token that is now broken out of trends, okay, has now retested, okay, and for me is getting ready for a upside push, okay. So entries for me on this token is 0.002 to 0.0024, right? If, again, you got a choice here. Okay, Sheldon, does that mean I can leverage the crap out of this thing? All comes down to risk, right? So for me specifically, this is a higher time frame view. We got Maddie in the chat over there. We got the other Matt, Aussie Matt, right? Please, can we launch a pump fund bot, please, brother? Okay, thank you. Let's launch a pump fund bot. Anyone who wants to see the pump fund bot, you will find it in the description. Let me show you quickly. Okay, we are just going to launch more and more and more bots. So in the description over here, let's go through. You will see the bots. There's the link if you want to see all of the bots. Okay, you will see a pump fund bot if you want a bot section over there. But nonetheless, spot entries for me. If I want to leverage this thing, I zoom in a little. Okay, I look at it break a trend. It actually did already break trend. Look at that. Broke trend. Okay, so if you wanted to enter this, it would not be a super high leverage trade right now. It's very much a spot entry to a low leverage right now. If it decides to do this is a short time frame, and you can catch it over there with a tighter stop. That could be a little bit higher leverage. Nonetheless, there's a lot of money to be made to the upside. You don't have to high leverage everything. I know it's desperation to make money back, but just keep aware. This, for me, is one of the big opportunities right now, is pump fund. Where am I seeing us go? I'm seeing us go anywhere to the areas of 5, so 0.005 to 0.006. Up to 100 to 150% trade. Where is that? Mid-range. Mid-range. That is where I'm looking at the opportunity. Okay, the next one is Grandma ETH. Right? Yes, ETH. I don't care. For me, ETH is still one of the plays and a token that I'm very much interested in. Let's go here. Let's show you what my ETH position is. There we go. Okay. For me, ETH is at the point where if you look at market structure, emotions of the markets, very much into disbelief, very much looking to go into hope next, right? Depression phase, push. Now, it's a little bit earlier than the rest of the tokens. It has not broke the top structures just yet. But where I like and why I like ETH right now is where the risk aspect is to buy this token, right? The risk aspect is quite important for me here. And it's quite obvious if we are bullish now, right? And we're looking for this push at any point here. And I look at risk here and I look at the big bottom trends here. This for me has come straight into support, okay, and a good zone to accumulate. Now, this zone is anywhere between $3,000 to $3,100. That's my accumulation zone for ETH. Very much a spot position, very much a bot position. And this is why, just to show you guys here, we do have the bot positions on ETH. Okay, there's my ETH. Okay, that we are busy building over here, as well as spot. Where am I seeing ETH go from here? I am seeing ETH at any point make a rally back to $3,700 to $3,900. Okay, so ETH for me is the third token that I'm nice and bullish on. Then there's a token that's a little bit earlier than the rest. okay? And it doesn't have a crazy amount. I was looking here this morning because it's only starting to get listed on different platforms and stuff now, okay? And it's this token called 𝗨𝗨. And what this is a DEX, right? Very similar to the Hyperliquid, all these different types, okay? I know a lot of people that have had a lot of success when it comes to 𝗨𝗨 and the platform and trading on the platform itself. And we also realized throughout the last few months that DEXs were becoming one of the hot things, right? Hot things within the market, decentralized trading. You don't need to know me, okay? And I want a place to trade my money, right? DEXs, I am AZ67777, amazing. I'm trading amount of money. You don't know that it's Sheldon, this person, this person, this person, right? So for me, DEXs is one of the plays that are becoming big, okay, and it have becoming big, and I do think is going to be one of the big runners when the market starts to rally up again, okay? And I looked at Hyperliquid. I think Hyperliquid has done incredible, but I don't think it's the biggest opportunity within the market, okay? Spoke to a bunch of friends, a bunch of guys that are trading it, and 𝗨𝗨 definitely for me is one of the better market cap tokens, better opportunities right now, okay? Now, when you don't have too much details on the charts, I'm looking for breakouts, right? And what I saw recently over here, specifically shorter time frame, is we've started breaking out, and there is another breakout point that I don't think we should miss, right? And it's this area of this $3 mark. So what I've been doing is this is purely a bot versus a bot and spot trade structure, and I'm accumulating this anywhere between the areas of this 2.6 to the 2.8 areas over here. I do, and many that I've spoken to as well, do see an opportunity of up to a $5 to $6 mark over here. Do your own research on this token, have your own views on this token. But the main reason why I'm bringing this to your attention now is I'm seeing a lot of volume spikes. I'm seeing a lot of accumulation happening on this specific token, okay, and this narrative over here too. But this specific token, volume spikes I'm seeing on many different platforms. So have a look at that one. It is a token that I am personally building a lot, and it's one of the newer tokens within the market. The next one to show you guys, right, is good old 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, which for me was getting going last year. I still think this is one of the best altcoins in the market. I think they're related in the gaming space. I think they're in the AI space. I think they're in many different categories. That is the future within this world, okay? And I still think that this specifically catching this at $13 is crazy, okay? But again, I want a chart understanding of why would I buy this thing. And again, for me, breaking of key structure at the bottom. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to catch the pump outside of the disbelief, and I'm looking for the hope stage rally over here. I think this can be a $100 future token, but I don't want to say that that's going here in 3 months. Yeah, we'll see, right, where this goes. But ultimately, the trade and the aspect of where it is right now, it's a good entry, okay? We have broken out. We have retested, okay? And there's one more thing that we are looking for. Again, this is spot entries, this is bot. When I'm looking to leverage this thing, is when we break through this trend over here, which is saying in the next couple of days, that will be some leverage entries. Nonetheless, good entries on 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏, and where I'm seeing 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 rally to is up to the 20, okay, to the $23 mark, okay? A very nice, strong 70-80% trade. Again, the gains are cool, but it comes down to where are we at risk-wise. And again, I put the bottom trend here to know where my risk would be. Where do I protect positions and things like that? Let's look at it. So where I would look to protect positions is around the 12.6 to 12.7, okay, which is giving me around an 8% risk. And my reward is looking anywhere up to the 50%. And like I said, anywhere up to the 70% mark too. Risk to reward, risk this big, reward this big, good token, good project, good area of where we are right now. I'm super interested in this position. So 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is the next one that I'm looking at. Then Render. A ridiculous amount of volume is starting to come into Render. This token has taken forever, right? But AI space, gaming space, NVIDIA space, all of these best top narratives in stock markets in the world right now, for me, Render is one of the biggest ones in the play, right? And why I'm super interested now is it did start to break trend a couple of days back. Again, this is specifically a higher time frame entry that we're looking at here. But if I look at the very high break that we are seeing here, Okay, we are breaking a very long amount of trend going all the way to November 2024. And this for me is a token that's getting ready to move. Okay, anyway, up to the areas of up to $5. And when I see $5, I see up to 100, 120%. Again, these are later. I think this is a $12 token in the future, definitely, right? Is that in 3 months, 6 months, 10 years? We'll see. But right now, opportunity of where we're looking, the token that's breaking out, a token that's looking nice and strong. This is very much a higher time frame play, non-leverage right now, unless, again, how do you know where to take leverage? We're actually breaking a 1 hour. So this is where you would put a stop loss. Okay, and this could be a leverage position entry for you right now as it speaks. Right, you can put a stop here, you can put a stop under 618. Okay, so leverage just comes down to looking for a little bit of shorter time frame break, okay, and looking at where you're going to put your stop loss. Your stop loss will determine how much leverage to enter, right? So again, this is a trade for me. If I'm wanting to protect myself, it will be a little bit of a bigger stop loss. This will be around 1.9, 1.8, 1.7. The key is not to get stopped out of this trade, just in case there's any massive multi up in the market. I don't want to go to zero, right? Which is super important. And for me, again, upside is up to the $5 mark is where I'm looking. 4.5 to $5 is the next push that I am looking at for render. Then let's speak about Fetch. Fetch is another one, AI space, right? This is a token for me, breaking out of the daily trends, retesting into support right now, and I'm seeing a push up to 60 cents, right? Breaking all the structures, getting ready for a hope pump. Okay, and I look at this down, I'm like, okay, cool. My protection zones will be around 24 to the 23 cent mark to 60 cents. Risk to reward, really good right now. Good narrative, breaking strength, volume coming in. For me, is one of the trades and tokens that I am focusing on right now. So there is Fetch. Then I have a couple of the old dogs, the ones that I love very much. I think the risk is really good right now. I think they are good entries. Chainlink, I'm still a big believer in Chainlink. Okay, token that does rally when we have alt seasons, which we have not had. We haven't had a real altcoin pump. But nonetheless, look at that trend break. Look where we are right now, retesting right now. So for me, opportunity incoming on Chainlink. Okay, good entries. Where am I seeing us go? Again, mid-range push. So this is not me saying, bull market crazy runs. I'm saying, guys, 100% here. Do you want it? Right? Because again, we came down 80% on a lot of alts. So it's like 100 to 150% just to go halfway from where we dropped. Halfway, right? If we obviously go to the top, it's 300-400% pumps. We will see that as it plays out, right? Wouldn't this market trap everyone if it did? Just go back to the highs, right? Crazy. Okay. Again, that's just me green blood. But nonetheless, just normal basics of trading. I'm seeing a push at any point from here to the areas of up to 17, all the way up to $20 mark. Good risk to reward, good entries as we speak right now. There is Chainlink looking nice and strong. Then we have Algorand. Why am I so interested in this? Because we are breaking a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 touch trend line. Broke out, retest, higher high. From here, I'm looking at a push up to the 24 to the 25 cent mark, right? Protection zones on this is around 12 cents. Again, we put in the risk to reward ratio here. Boom. That's the opportunity that I am seeing when it comes to Algorand. So this is an opportunity that I'm seeing. Then let's speak about, so those are my 10, right? I think I did them all. Oh, Solana. I see a $170 to $190 pump incoming. We have started breaking out, just to show you guys. Again, why are my trends down here? Because I want to be in the most recent area. If I find higher time frame breaks, that's cool. So let's go through here and see what is higher time frame breaks on Sol. Look at that, right? Once we break through there, strong strength. I zoom in a little bit more. I see where's the most recent breaks. You could see a big decisions coming, right? And again, for me, I'm seeing slightly more bullish views right now than bearish. It's accumulation zone. And I'm seeing a push up to the areas of 200. Protection zones is around $123 to $125 mark on Sol. So those are my 10. We'll go through a couple of your tokens soon. Okay, so the next one is Zcash. Who thinks it's over for Zcash? Right, probably many. I remember speaking about this in the beginning of the week and saying that there's 2 dumps coming. Remember I said there was a bounce? I don't think it's real. And then I saw it drop down to 360. This is my views on Zcash, and I am buying it in these areas between 350 and 370 as a spot trade. I don't think it's worth leveraging right now. It's a bit volatile, but this is an interesting chart to pay attention to, that we are coming into the hot green zone. The bottom, I'm seeing this as a bull flag, and I am actually seeing an exit of up to $700 in the future. It can take a bit of time. Right now, I don't care about gains. I care about entries with low risk, okay? But it needs to be obviously worth the gains. So if I look at this and I look at outprotect myself around 330, okay, you can see that the risk to reward for me is at a good area. A little bit more downside. We're 380 now. A little bit more down. I think it's a good token. I am personally going to be entering that position. When it comes to what else is showing some strength, obviously we have the old Matic or the new Matic, which is Poly market. I don't know if it's Poly market, Polygon, or whatever it is, right? I know it's been around for a long time. I was always a Matic lover, okay? But there is some strength. This thing's obviously majorly oversold, but pay attention to where the hell we're at right now. There's the break, volume incoming, right? Look at the volume spike, higher volume that we've seen in a long time. Look at the trend line break on volume, right? And that for me means real breakout, right? Real breakout, real move. Halfway mid-range, this would be a spot trade only for me, right? Which would be the areas of around 50 cents. Obviously, future, a lot higher, but for the trade, around 40 to 50 cents is where I see us at any point rallying up to. Okay, let's have a look. Someone said virtuals. Let's see. Virtuals. Let's see if this thing is looking good. Okay, yeah, short-term strength is good. Where it really starts to break out is this weekly trend here. So something like this, probably seeing a push up here to 1.5. This, probably in a couple of weeks, a really big breakout to get us back to the $4 mark. Right now, I'm seeing a push around 1.5. Not bad, not bad. Pretty decent over here when it comes to that over here. Just to show you guys that obviously me, I'm trading the bit funded, but I've also started releasing a couple of my trades. Leverage trades. So as you can see, I am in, see if I can show you guys on the camera here. I've started building a SUI position. It won't set up here. Okay, but I'm starting to enter my leverage positions as well outside of the bit funded views over here. Remember, guys, link below if you want a bit funded. I'm doing an event. We are clarifying on Monday the dates of when we are doing this event, but I'm going to be doing a 7-day pass a challenge with bit funded. You buy a challenge right now, you get the same value challenge 2-step method for free with the challenge you get right now. This will close though when the challenge has begun. This is where it's the only way you can get that special of getting 2 for 1. Okay, there's the bit funded over here. And obviously you guys know there are a bunch of different packages just to show you guys the packages. So you buy a 1-step. So you can say limited time only. Any of these, you'll get the same value for free. Right? With it, a 2-step, you will get it for free. And again, this will also get you into the challenge. And I spoke about Bybit as well. Bybit, good sign-up bonuses right now if you sign up to Bybit account today. Obviously, the best trading platform in the world. Love them very much. Okay, Maddie, let's get through a couple of people's requests. What are we seeing, guys? What are we seeing? What are we wanting to see? What tokens would you like me to chart for you? Let me know. Let's see, 𝗫 protocol. Okay. Bring some more. Then I can load them all up here. Okay, we got 𝗫 protocol. Sonic, really disappointing for me. I was a mid-term holder. I'm now a long-term holder of Sonic. Sonic is just dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping. I'm not buying as much as what I used to. I'm buying a little bit where I can to reduce my entry price. It's telling us in the next few weeks we should see a breakout, but realistically it's going to get back to around 30 cents, 40 cents. I'm not thinking much higher than that. So I was buying a lot at 50. I bought at 60. I bought at 30. I bought at 20. Right now it's at 8. So the only reason I'd buy more is to obviously dollar cost a little bit more into my entry. But if I can buy a bit here and double to triple my money here, it can help me recover, and it's a good trade, right? But it's not ready yet. When this weekly trend breaks, that is for me when it will be ready. Same thing with 𝗧. 𝗧 is still quite far from high time frame breaks. I do think there's a short-term trade incoming. It has broken out of the short-term trends. So I do think there is a push at any point to the areas of around 2.3, 2.4, 2.5. And that is where I basically TP on some trades. Long term, I do think it's a $10 token. But obviously, we don't want to put time predictions on that over there. 𝗏𝗏 breaking out. Let's have a look. Obviously, 𝗏𝗏 is also one of the newer tokens of the cycles. DEXs, right? I think this is the Binance DEX. Okay. Yes, 𝗏𝗏 is breaking out on the 15-minute chart. For those that were saying over there, pay attention for a 4-hour break. We're not too far from a 4-hour break. From here, it push up anyway up to short time frame. It's a 10% move. High time frame, when this thing's ready to get going, we are looking at a push to around the $1 mark. So not bad, not bad. Not one of my favorites, but I do think it is a good token to have in your long-term portfolio. I do think it's a very good one. Let's go some more. Let's go. Guys, remember, Sniper Club free trading community for you right now. You want to be a part of the 𝗏𝗏𝗡𝗏 challenge? It's going to be in club, right? Best community out there right now. Best thing you could have. It is free. It costs you nothing. It is crazy if you are not in Sniper Club right now for free. Right? The amount of alpha there every day, live trading sessions, calls, education, best in the world, right? And it's on an incredible platform called Circle as well. Literally click on the link below and it takes you, say, I want to be a part of the community. It takes you here, asks you for your email, put your email in, and it sends you, oh, sorry, Matt, I just shared your never mind. So nonetheless, go through there and put your email in and verify, and you will get put into club straight away. Okay, guys, happy Saturday to you all. What am I doing on the new channel? Make sure you're following Sniper Trading on the new channel. I am shooting how I pass a 𝗏𝗏𝗡𝗏 challenge, and I'm going to enter the challenge, pass the challenge, make money from the real money, take the money out, and go buy something. Teach you the entire process of how to do that. That is what I am currently shooting over there. I'm then doing a $300 challenge. How much can I grow $300 in 7 days, right? These are all behind the scene things that we are shooting for the new channel to teach you guys in the real life of what it is to achieve these things. Make sure you are following the new channel over there. Again, recap, I'm only in on SUI right now for Bitfunded. 4-hour, patient with this, got a stop loss at around 1.8 to 1.81. Where is my stop loss? 1.81. 1.81. Okay, there is the stop loss. 1.81 is my stop loss areas over here on SUI. Other than that, have a great weekend. I'll see you guys on Monday. Love you lots. Bye-bye.